Welcome to the 10th edition already of Spark Tank. Today we have about 9 founders, I would say. More are joining in the backstage here to pitch their companies. They'll share their screen and their pitch decks. There's also 4 investors today. So, welcome to another show. It'll be pretty fun and entertaining. Jake, can you start introducing yourself? And then we'll go at your right and everyone can introduce themselves.
Sure. Hi, my name is Jay Tokash. I'm CEO and founder of a company called NoteEffect. NoteEffect is my 7th company. And as people say about entrepreneurs building things for their own needs, that's you're going to see in my presentation. That's my case.
Niraj.
Hi, I am Niraj, founder and CEO of Road to EV. We are a community-based EV charging platform. So once again, it is built for my needs as an EV driver. I think the only other difficult thing that I have done or more nerve-wracking thing is jumping from a plane.
Mark.
Hi, my name is Mark Myers. I have a PhD in computational neuroscience. I formed a company called Neurodyne. It enables neurological acquisition from the patient. I'm also a professor at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center in anatomy and neurobiology.
Nice. Craig?
Hi, I'm Craig Klein, CEO of Sales Nexus. We help customers grow their businesses. We're the CRM that actually helps salespeople, not just managers.
Hey, Dab, welcome to the show. I am adding you on stage here. We spoke before. Quick intro about yourself.
Hi, yes, thank you, Charles. I'm Dav Riga. I am a startup veteran, a creative, and academic, and I'm the founder and CEO of Tleho, a fully licensed triple bottom line cannabis manufacturing and processing venture based in New Jersey that'll be driven by AI native industrial robotics.
Seb?
Hey together, I'm Sebastian, co-founder from One Banking. We have the first AI native banking system built, which is not able to see just the past, we can see the future, and this helps our clients save money and invest better money.
Thomas?
Thomas Becker, CEO and founder of Pulsar Industries. I'm an industry veteran in the battery world, and I founded Pulsar Industries with the idea to provide mobile power to everyone, being them remote or in the city or wherever power is needed.
Caleb?
Hi everyone, I'm Khalid Najjar from Jordan. I'm a co-founder in SDM in Archmate. Archmate is an AI validator for your own infrastructure that can check your own best practices and to comply with the FinOps. Thank you.
Nick?
Hi everyone, my name is Nick Bai. I'm the CEO of AdGraft Therapeutics, where we're developing liquid skin grafts engineered for lasting therapy in rare disease and beyond.
I like that.
Opportunity.
Welcome to the show again. A quick intro about yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Sudha and I'm the founder of Nicky's Active. Is a centralized marketplace for kids holiday booking activities.
There you go. We're gonna present our VCs. Shane, bringing you on stage here. Quick intro about yourself.
Hey, Shane Wilson, Citi Capital, early stage B2B AI deep tech robotic funds. Deep tech robotic fund. We're typically joining companies late seed. Our objective is to be multi-stage. That's just evolved from series to series C. Thanks for having me today, Charles.
Shane, maybe fix the background noise. Couldn't hear much. Sunny, quick intro about yourself.
Hey, Sunny Ray, co-founder of Raz Rocket and Spark Tank, along with UnoCoin and director of Humanoid Global. Glad to be here.
Mike?
Michael Feynman. I'm the managing partner, CEO, owner of Texas Business Brokers M&A firm out of Austin, Texas, and restaurateur, as well as other miscellaneous businesses that I have my fingers in. Excited to be here.
Scott?
Hi, everybody. My name is Scott Kelly. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Dog Venture Partners. We invest primarily in technology, software, hardware, med tech, health tech. We invest primarily through special purpose vehicles, but I also run an accelerator where we help prepare entrepreneurs to get in front of our network of 16,000 investors.
There you go. And I'm Charles Cormier. Started Spark Tank with Sunny here, also co-founder of RazRocket. We help founders raise. I also own a fund called Mac10fund.com. We invest 40 mil a year in YC founders, B2B agentic companies. So welcome everyone to the show. Let's have our first contender here. Jay, the stage is yours.
Great, thank you. Hi, this is going to sound a little counterintuitive, but the thing that I've learned about AI recently is actually AI increases knowledge loss before it solves it. So most people think that AI means, productivity, and AI creates, more meetings, more notes, more content, more outputs. If you think about it for a second, the problem really isn't creating the knowledge or the data. The problem is remembering and activating and measuring it. So Agent Answer, our product, is the system of intelligence for enterprise knowledge that is built directly for that. With all that data and knowledge, workers lose nearly 30% of their work week searching for information that already exists. At the same time, sales teams lose deals because objections, conversations, critical content disappear after the meetings, and companies lose twice. You think about it, it's lost production and lost revenue. Knowledge disappears and then revenue follows. These forces are converging. First, it's AI capture is everywhere. Phones, meetings, smart glasses, and wearables. That part of the market is growing, and even Ray-Ban, I just recently saw that they have a set of glasses out now that is going to, start capturing content as well. And then the second thing is AI memory, right? Apple, Microsoft, metadata, all these are validating the market, but they all fit into their own ecosystem. And third, enterprises need security because enterprise knowledge doesn't live inside of one ecosystem. And this is where Agent Answer wins. Now, Agent Answer creates one secure intelligence layer across an enterprise stack. We capture the meetings, sales calls, training, presentations, workflows, looking at your emails, doing all that stuff. And most AI systems only capture audio. You think about translations like Otter AI, things of that nature. They're translating only the audio. And this is where we come in because we're translating both the audio, we're translating the content, we're making it interactive, and we're putting it all together to make it better for when you're doing a search and trying to recall this information that's there. Plus, we secure it, index it, and transform it so that institutional knowledge is very easy to search for. Most competitors focus on warm workflow inside of their ecosystem, right? Transcription meetings or sales calls. So you think about Gong, for example, it's only about sales calls and the sales call itself. And this is where Agent Answer combines enterprise security, cross-platform intelligence, a multimodal recall. So it's all of your devices across every device that you're using. And we have this patented security breach protection that's protecting all of that content from that standpoint. That creates a really difficult competitive position for someone else to replicate. And our patents protect real-time, being able to allow access to the content, but still not allowing it to be shared outside of that, outside of the company itself. Now, here's the best part. We're already built, already deployed, and we're scaling now. Through our Event Engage platform, more than 30,000 professionals are already using our content platform today at events, conferences, and trade shows. And this really creates an embedded distribution for us and a direct path to enterprise deployments, right? Events are not our business model. It was a place from my previous company, Core Apps, that allowed me to be able to jump back into that market very quickly. But it's our wedge into the enterprise sale. We have all these people who work inside of enterprise who are using our product directly at events. And we're not looking to change the user's behaviors. We're looking to capture the behavior that's already happening. So We believe that organizational memory becomes a core of the enterprise layer, and that's where we want to sit. That's exactly what we're trying to do. The addressable markets space extends beyond $500 million. Our team that I have put together here has already worked together in the past, been able to exit successfully in companies. My previous company, Core Apps, we were in the top 300 and something of total SaaS companies at the time, and Apple's top 5 developers. So we know what we're doing. The other part of our leadership has been a person who worked for KPMG and Deloitte to bring us into those systems types integrators as we move forward in the things that we're doing. And then lastly, we just brought on a new advisor and part of the team that just helped sell a company, a training company that fits into what we're doing here for $1.2 billion. Building the institutional layer, we're raising $5 million to scale enterprise to go to market. We've got expanded channel partnerships and accelerated adoption already. This funding accelerates scale, not production or invention. We're already there. We're about 70% with everything that we're trying to do here with Agent Answer, putting it together. And because companies that win in the AI area will not be the ones that create the most information. They'll be the ones that can remember it, secure it, and activate it at best. Thank you.
Thanks for the pitch, Jay. What's the current MRR?
For us, about 20,000. We did 75,000 last year. This year, we're on track to actually do 150.
Okay, and 20,000. So that's your strongest month ever, or?
No, actually, I was looking at average there. I think our strongest month at this particular point has been about 35,000.
Okay. Have you got funded yet? Like, what's the situation?
No, I've been very fortunate that, this is my 7th company, and I've been able to bootstrap this and put all the money myself forward.
And what are your strongest go-to-market channels at the moment?
Strongest go-to-market channel is the event space. That's conferences and trade shows. That's where we accelerate. We've got a couple of projects coming up where people will be using us for training purposes because we can secure their content and allow access to it on a regular basis. And we're sort of doing it a little different than your typical training of watch a video, get certified, move on. We're building it more as a reference type of product where they can come back into it and utilize it, utilize the AI to be able to use it sort of as not only a training portion, but troubleshooting.
And do you have personal relationships in these Deloitte and big corporate companies?
Yeah, so one of our founders was a principal there. He was the best man at my wedding. And he's been, off and on working with me over the years. So we have, people there. We have some contacts into Tech Data and some other Beltway systems integrators here in the DC area for the government stuff.
Okay. On my side, I'm bullish on you and your exits and your background. The field itself is not what I would personally invest in, and there's lots of competition, right? Like your moat might be your actual relationships and the GTM that you can deploy for that specific company. That's on my side. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, congratulations on what you've done so far. I like what you're doing. I had a couple questions. One, specific to go-to-market. Are you using channel partners, direct sales? What's your go-to-market strategy?
Yeah, so initially our go-to-market strategy is those 30,000 people, and that's growing every day with every new conference and trade show that we're doing. So they get to use our product at a conference or trade show today inside of all of the sessions. And our goal is to convert them over to Agent Answer when we're ready to implement that out there and offer them to be able to keep not only the content information that they've accrued at the event itself, but now be able to use it for their meetings, for looking back at their emails, training, and everything else. So we figured that, hey, once they're already using our product, they like it. We're renewing customers to use this and gaining on top of that. That'll be our first sales wedge. From there, we do have access into other, enterprise companies within our group that we're doing today with some of the systems integrators. We have contacts into Tech Data and contacts into KPMG, Deloitte.
And exit strategy. What are your thoughts? Who was your ideal acquirer, and what's your criteria for that?
Yeah, our ideal acquirer, in my opinion, is going to be someone like Google, Salesforce. I would say Microsoft. These people are all operating with products today to capture information, but that all stays inside their ecosystem, right? And so that's sort of the challenge, where the layer that we sit, that's going to be able to say, hey, you can use anybody's device, right? Apple's new pendant that's about to come out, it's going to be huge. Use that. Use Microsoft for something else, Ray-Ban's glasses, all these different things. And we're that enterprise layer that sits there and says, great, use all of these. But when it's time to go and recall this information and be able to make it, usable, that's the layer that we'll be.
Shane, any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Check. Can you hear me okay, Charles?
Yep.
Cool. Jay, yeah. So I'll start things off. I try to be pretty direct with my feedback, and I want to make sure that these things are productive. So this may come across as a little bit of a harsh note, but I think your economy of words is really poor right now. I thought that most of the presentation was quite rambling, and I really don't have much of a context or I vaguely
Shane, your mic is not perfect. Yeah, there's still lots of background noise. We're gonna go to the next VC. Sunny, any thoughts on this presentation?
Yeah. So Jay, I was wondering, is the conference product the business, or is it more like a wedge into a bigger enterprise knowledge platform?
Exactly, Sonny. It's a wedge, right? I didn't want to come to the marketplace, from an investor standpoint and say, hey, I have a great idea, here it is, right? And we built a proof of concept. No, I wanted to come and say, look, we've got revenue already. We're increasing that revenue. We're going to double in size in that easily today from what we did last year. This also gives us the opportunity to have people using the software, and allows us to be able to go back to those people, not only sell to them individually, but they all work for some enterprise company, right? And have us bring them in once they get used to that. So that's the goal.
That makes sense. And then one more before I hand it over to Mike. Which part of the product do users come back for after the event?
So we start them out with a product called Event Engage. That's sold directly at a flat rate to the conference and trade show event organizers today, both corporate and associations. And then when they come back to it, it'll be Agent Answer, which is what my pitch deck was all about. That's the one that'll give them the search capability, recall capability, and security protections.
Interesting. Well, I like
Mike?
the AI conference layer.
Yeah, Jay, great presentation. I mean, I think my my questions revolve around, you have enough clients. I don't know if it's enough to be completely valid, but enough clients to have kind of some feedback, not just on if they like it, the smiley sheets, but around kind of the cost value. Are they starting to see some real benefit that's cold and hard? And then my second question is around, who are your key competitors? And based on the first one and the second one, how do you stay way ahead of them as you're taking on more kind of training into this?
Yeah, good question. So the customers that are using it today, the feedback that we're getting from our event organizers, because after an event, you guys have probably been there, you get some sort of poll or response for that event, and they're coming back and asking for more information from our side. They're asking for, hey, can we now be able to keep this information live and have access to it on a year-round basis, where today the event organizer cuts them off after 60 days and they have to download everything into a sort of a PDF format to doing that. So they're asking for this. And what we're finding is that from our AI measurements, they're going into the content, they're picking specific places that they want to relive or that they want to go back to that was important to them and pulling that back out. And they're doing a little search to be able to get back to that information. So they're sort of validating exactly what we're looking to do as we move forward from that standpoint. You asked some other questions, and I apologize.
Yeah, just to follow up on that. I think the challenge is going to be, and there's a lot of challenges in our world that revolve around this, is how you get from qualitative benefit to quantitative benefit. And it's, I would just say, you've forgotten more than I'll ever know about this, but I would just, my only kind of vision on this is the quicker you can get to that, the better. The other question was around competition. I mean, what is really kind of that competition set?
Yeah, so we get put into different areas, right? We get put into the transcription area where you're talking about Otter AI or Fireflies as a competitor, and I see them as a competitor from that standpoint. The problem with them is that they're only transcribing audio today. So you only get 50% of the story, not the context. If you're having meeting and presentations are happening, if you're having situations where you're going to an event and a conference, you've got all this content that's going on. We're transcribing both of those pieces so that we can be able to easily recall the search capabilities of that information 6 weeks, 6 months down the road. Other competition. Let's talk about Gong for a second. Gong.
Hey, Jay, sorry, we're already out of time, but thanks for the pitch here. Neeraj, we're gonna go to you next. The stage is yours.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Neeraj, founder and CEO of Road to EV. I'm hoping a bunch of you have an electric vehicle, and I'm a household with 2 EVs. One of the biggest challenges that we see in North America is people waste a lot of their time charging today. The largest unused charging infrastructure that exists and it works are the home chargers. So our biggest premise is people should not have their life revolve around charging. We should not be wasting our times in the mall where the cost of charging is low, but the kid being annoyed or occupying the kid for a few hours is fairly high. Honestly, the only reliable charging infrastructure that works is the Tesla supercharger network. Other chargers tend to, in Canadian weather, start breaking down after a few years. But the home chargers always work, and that has been the biggest barrier to adoption for EVs. So nowadays in North America, at least in major suburb areas, 1 in 5 homes have an EV charger. And it's a charger that always works. So think of us as Airbnb of EV charging. Essentially, if I have a home charger, and I have 2 EVs, by the way, for reference, I only use my charger 5 to 6 nights in a week. Most of the daytime, the charger is sitting idle. So imagine if a lot of people like me make their home chargers available for the use. So if you are visiting a friend or family member with your EV and you're worried about the charge inside it, you no longer have an anxiety. You go to their house and literally the car is parked next door and is charging. You're not on your phone anymore trying to look at your car, look at the safety, look at the charging around it. You don't have to ask somebody to drive you to a parking lot. You don't have to kill time at a coffee shop, and the car is literally charging next door. And it's honestly much cheaper. Home users, even if they sell their electricity at double the rate in North America, it's still half the rate of public charging. So there is a lot of potential. Now, our biggest competition essentially is the public charging infrastructure that exists, because people think that is the only choice. However, if we get into the community-based charging, our charging density goes tremendously high. Our platform allows homeowners to set their own rates. We have time of day controls, we have lockbox controls, we have bunch of other things, and it's an asset that is sitting for them as a passive asset, and they can just make money. Imagine chargers are everywhere and you no longer have to worry about it. Hosts can earn up to $400 in a month. And we actually launched our app in October of last year. It's available on Google Play and Android Auto. And we first entered to Toronto Auto Show in 2026, like in February this year, to make sure that we are aware of the brand. We are right now doing a lot of social media advertising to make sure our brand is available. The app is available in Canada and US, and so that people understand. Now, this is one part which may only make sense to Canadians. We are also government certified for Canadian Carbon Credit Tracking System. Essentially, we call it CATS. Canada has a carbon exchange program. Thank you to Alberta. They have to buy carbon credits, and we sell the carbon credits based on homeowners using their own cars in their own homes. So imagine they don't have to do anything. They don't have to do peer-to-peer method. They can still make money by doing their daily routine. And that gives us a LTV actually of over $1,000 per customer per year. It's around 2,000 to 3,000. I deliberately have put it as 1,000 because honestly, the presentation URLs go to too many people, and I did not want to put the actual number in. We are also July 1st, which is Canada Day. We are going to be increasing our offering to the homeowners from 5 cents per kilowatt hour rebate to 10 cents per kilowatt hour rebate, because we can make a lot more money the more audience joins us. And so we today have a first mover advantage. Nobody's looking at peer-to-peer space. We have connectivity with various vehicle manufacturers. We have partnership with a company called Hubject, which is an aggregator for different things. We are working towards launching our own charger because right now our full integration exists with Tesla, but we want to make sure that we have our own charger as well, so we can have our own product offering for small businesses and homeowners, which increases, honestly, a brand stickiness a bit more. So how do we make money? We make money on peer-to-peer transactions. Our markup is around 20% whenever a homeowner or whenever a vehicle owner charges. We take 20% of the cut. Our cost of acquisition is around $15 based on social media marketing. With CATS, which is the Canadian carbon credit system, our revenue per customer is over $1,000 at this point in time. What are we looking for? The company is self-funded by me today. For all intensive purposes, we are pre-revenue. We are hoping for a safe investment between $1 to $3 million so we can have our brand recognition continue to increase. We work towards launching our own chargers and go towards a global launch.
All right. Thank you for the presentation, Neeraj. So you've been building that since 2 years, right?
So yeah, we launched, the company started officially in 2024. I had to completely reset because the product was not getting built. So I resetted the company, again, started from scratch in the middle of 2025. And towards the end of 2025 is when we launched our first version.
All right. And are you vibe coding it? Are you now in charge of the actual product, the app?
Yes. So we are in charge of the app. I have a development team based out of India. So I'm not personally vibe coding. I have a development team based out of India, which we do use AI and other things to develop faster. But somebody has to focus on other things, not a one-man show completely.
Because the question that keeps coming to my mind, right? Like if Elon would start the same company next to you, do you think he would be there like 2 years in the game? I think Elon would probably do vibe codes the app to life and would almost immediately start getting customers on day 2, right? So I have that need for speed as an investor and as a founder. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, so that is what we are raising the capital for. I agree with you. But there are a lot of charging providers, the market is right now very disconnected. Yes, Elon would do it, but Elon's focus has been the supercharger market to increase that particular part out, right? Our actually long-term exit plan is buyout by Tesla or other things from a customer base point of view, because our goal is to integrate public and private chargers both. So today in our app, we have public chargers and we have private chargers, both on the platform, with a single criteria that any app payment can happen through our platform.
Right. So my take is I'd like to see customers as an investor, right? And if I would invest in you, I'd like to see MRR and traction way quicker than that, right? Because this is not a new idea, as you know, like there's a lot of people actually doing that, right? Like the Uber of or kind of model. It makes sense, by the way. And there is fate, right? Like I wanted groceries to my door 10 years ago, but only 6 years ago did Uber Eats and Rappi started delivering to my door, right? So there is the place for a contender, for someone that brings that to market, but I'd like to see that build quicker, right? Scott, what do you think? You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, with respect, if Elon or anybody in that space wanted to do this, as Charles mentioned, they could be up and running in days, and they could effectively eat your lunch. So I'd really want to figure out what your mode is versus a monolith like this who can, Elon, puts together a company almost on a weekly basis. So if he wanted to do this, he could be in your space. The other thing too is that it's great that you have developers. I want to see a team. I want a CTO. I want a CMO. I want everyone around you to help grow this company. So I'd like to learn more about that, quite frankly.
Yeah, so we have a head of marketing, but honestly, I could not afford her. So that is why she is on a part-time basis. And due to her other job is why she is not on the call at this point in time or not disclosed. But yes, there is also a CTO on the company for same exact reason is they are on their part-time. So the disclosure of their current employers is the issue. But once we have some kind of a funding, then at that point in time, the whole team gets assembled. Like the team is there behind the scenes, but for full disclosure, they are not on there because they're more worried about their other jobs at this point in time.
Yeah, I think obviously speed is going to be important because you are in a very competitive space. And with very large potential competitors. Interesting concept. I mean, Charles mentioned those other, ad delivery apps. I mean, I was an early investor in some companies like Pets.com that was way too early, and other companies in the food delivery space. Sometimes a good idea has to be done immediately, or it doesn't fly. So I would really encourage you to do that, and maybe even consider some additional revenue streams. I think, a 20% take on, the charging is great, but maybe you fully integrate the system and, become a distributor of charging stations or, things of that nature. So you actually have direct access to the revenue as opposed to
that is exactly, yeah. So we are launching our own charger as a strategic initiative for exact reason is to have additional revenue stream, and Canadian carbon credits is exactly that. Like, our goal, honestly, is to get to a few thousand customers, and each customer being worth over $1,000 gives us $1 million, $2 million annual check. So
Shane,
that allows me to fund the company in a bit more fashion and grow it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Shane, any questions or comments?
Yeah, so I'll just kind of be real quick on comments because I know we're kind of running long on time. So Niraj, I would echo what Charles and Scott say. I'm kind of out on this concept just because of the lack of defensibility here. But to give some kind of a new direction, I think if indeed you are going to double down here, what's critical is you recognize that you're working a two-sided marketplace model, which is notoriously hard. I need to very succinctly understand what the incentives are on both sides of this marketplace. Why does a homeowner want to do this? Why does an EV charger want to do this? What is your take on them? And then on beneath those incentives, what are the strategies and customer acquisition costs that are going to kind of build and scale that up such that we can get to network effects. So really think about the business that you're running. What is that model, and what do you have to tell investors based on that model?
Mike, any questions or comments for Niraj?
Yeah, I'm kind of at the behavioral side of it. I do have an EV, and I do have a charger in my garage. I actually have two of them, but only one plug. So, there's the charger and the chargee. And so, basically someone's going to sign up like an Airbnb. They're going to bring their car to my house. My cord's going to have to be long enough where they can charge. And I've got a space in I'm just being behavioral here.
Yep.
In my driveway, but my cord won't reach. And also, is it a Tesla? Is it, just a normal plug? I have an adapter for my normal plug that I could go to a Tesla charger. But, is there a Tesla charger that has an adapter to go to a normal? I don't know that. So is that, am I going to allow someone to park in my driveway and schedule it out and make sure they park in a way where I can get out of my driveway? I just don't understand how the mechanics of that works.
So valid question. So the chargers, so what we allow is the homeowners to set their own schedules for availability. So if you have a one-car driveway and you want to make sure that you use it in the night and nobody else is coming in, you can go into the platform and set it as 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Right? That's part that you can set up. We have security code capabilities. So if your charger is inside the garage, you can give access to the security code, and we track everything from the vehicle to the user that is coming in. And to answer your first question, most of our customer base is both. Like 70% of the people are drivers as well as charger owners. So they are joining the platform as a single, and they connect their charger. And generally, because North America only has 2 plugs, most of the EV drivers are carrying the adapter that you're talking about from one to the other. So that has not been an issue that we have encountered at all in terms of different things. Now, the full integration is for the Canadian carbon credits with Tesla charger, so that if you have a Tesla charger, you can make literally free money through us because we are an aggregator approved by the government.
Sunny, any questions for Niraj?
Also, Tesla driver here. I guess mine's kind of like what Shane was asking, the chicken and the egg. I've built marketplaces before, and the chicken and the egg problem of getting enough hosts before driver trusts, the network. I think that's a tough one. I'm having my hard time getting my head around. Also, the liability and insurance. Like, who does that fall on if my, $120,000 car gets messed up? Is that on you?
So for that particular case, our insurance covers the damage to the car. But if the charger is badly installed, jimmied up, not by a certified electrician, then it's the homeowner's liability. So part of the liability falls under both areas. But yes, to be fully honest with you, like Airbnb's insurance was TBD, gray area falling in the middle. Right now, that is the case in this particular situation as well. But we do carry heavy insurance for this particular purpose.
Thank you, Niraj. We're going to go to our next contender. We have Mark here, adding you to stage. We can see your screen. Stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Charles. We are Neurodyne. We've developed an AI-driven point-of-care neuro platform. If you look at the cap that this model is wearing, within each of these electrode areas, there is an artificial intelligence solution to get the best signal possible. These signals then travel with the acquired signal back to a cloud solution that, once again, has an AI-driven capability to discern things like epileptic seizures, traumatic brain injury, and so on. Our current offering is an ambulatory remote epileptic seizure device. This came out of the need that we found out that individuals who are suffering from epilepsy will go to a hospital, and only 20% will get admitted for further diagnosis. This goes along the lines of healthcare today, which only admit individuals with the most severe type of seizures. So with only 20% getting admitted, what happens to the other 8%? They may move into what's called a sudden unexpected death by epilepsy regime, where at any time their seizures can lead to death. So we want to get ahead of these issues through this solution. So our AI point of care system is an intelligent cap with smart electrodes. It is mobile, lightweight, With a dry electrode solution, that is, there's no pre-prep that needs to be done with any kind of a conductive saline solution, and finally enables remote monitoring. If you think about the state of mobile health and the current devices that have been entered, such as a smartwatch or a pendant, we've taken on the hardest problem around there in terms of the neurological acquisition. So through our solution, we've developed this patient-based system that the individual can apply themselves and doesn't need any type of a medical background. So the individual puts on the cap. Once secured, they turn on the smartphone, and we are acquiring signals immediately. Data is then sent to our cloud solution, where our AI algorithm then processes things like epileptic seizures. And the availability is ubiquitous. A physician can then get those records anywhere and be able to provide diagnosis with all of the metrics that they're giving them, and therefore provide very speedy diagnosis. To date, we have achieved patient product testing from a previous year, as well as an IDE study, and we're also ISO certified. We're looking toward Q3, Q4 to achieve 510K clearance. We've achieved 2 patents. We've also submitted 3 additional patents. Funding to date is almost $2 million in non-diluted funding, and recently we've acquired an additional $110,000 from the Air Force to work on the traumatic brain injury solution for their group. We have tremendous matching capabilities, both with local Invest Tennessee and Launch Tennessee, and also through what's called a tactical funding increase, an additional $2 million. We've already submitted 2 additional funding opportunities for both traumatic brain injury as well as sleep apnea, totaling another $3.2 million. So our market opportunities are tremendous. In the epilepsy market, we're looking at $2.7 million in TAM, as well as TBI concussions at $45 billion, and inpatient care, which would triage traumatic brain injury solutions at $18 billion. Our market entry is the epilepsy diagnosis device, where only 20% or provide diagnosis today. This leaves a tremendous amount of patients, up to 80%, that need to be diagnosed as well, or else they move into this SUDEP type regime. If admitted to a hospital, diagnosis may require up to 4 to 7 days of monitoring, which only yield 1 to 2 data points. An at-home monitoring system can yield much more data to provide more precise diagnosis. Our TBI point of care solution. Once again, we're looking at individuals who are brought in to a hospital to discern what type of a traumatic brain injury that the individual has. The current state of the art is what's called the Glasgow scale. In other words, a flashlight is shown into someone's pupil dilates or does not dilate, and therefore they perform a triage from there. Most of the time, individuals will go through a CAT scan, which is tremendously expensive. For our solution, we can accurately triage the individual and therefore bring them to a much better course of care. In terms of low-cost triage for individuals who are both in the field as well as within a hospital setting, we can now maintain a 30% reduction in costly imaging through our triage solution, saving not only the patient a tremendous amount of money, but also hospital care systems. To date, we have $3.6 million in LOIs from the University of Tennessee, Arkansas Epilepsy Group, and Simmons Murphy. Simmons Murphy is an interesting group in that is Chris Nicolay, who came to us for our solution, told us that the current group that they were using is not user-friendly at all, and came to us for a better solution. So I'll go over this even further in the deck. We are completely covered by insurance. Not only we have a fully reimbursement package, but we've gotten DRG codes, APC codes, as well as ICD codes for complete coverage, not only for the device, but ongoing reporting. We have a stellar team, not only myself with over 20 years in the area of biomedical development, but Cedric Johnson with over 25 years in Fortune 500 companies, as well as doing contracts for the Army, Dr. Jeremy Holloman, who's a specialist in low voltage acquisition, and Brent McFerrin, who once again has over 25 years of experience in software development. The rest of our crew involves regulatory, translational science, a key opinion leader in the form of Dr. James Wheelis, Jerry Hudson, who has almost 40 years of experience in vertical sales with areas such as Medtronic, and finally Ephraim Lindenbaum, our business advisor. To date, we've acquired $2 million in non-diluted funding. And with this, we were able to get FDA approval. Again, we estimate toward the end of this year, and also acquire intellectual property in terms of 2 patents, copyrights, and filings as well for future patents. We're an AI-driven point-of-care platform. The solution itself can be applied by the patient as opposed to someone with a clinical background. It can scale from 32 to 64 electrodes and provide wide spatial capabilities for diagnosis. AI confirms electrode placement, that is, it gives feedback to the user, and its ability to do telehealth diagnostics. especially in the complex area of neurodiagnostics. Neurologists can perform analysis very rapidly. It is an AI model that learns from hundreds of data sets. We've applied large language models in terms of training so that we don't have to retrain for every new patient. We've also developed a
15 seconds.
We've also applied the dry electrode system. This enables the clear acquisition of EEG signals as clearly as possible, so that we can do. Our competition involves a traditional EEG competitor known as Nihon Kohden. Ceribell has gained a lot of traction in the market in terms of OR diagnosis. Zito and Natus have emerged very fast in this market, but based on our feature set, we know that we could gain quite a bit within this area. Our LTVs feature a tremendous margin, anywhere from 90 to 80%, 80% in terms of system sales, and additional 90% in terms of reporting. For our long-term value, if we sell to one customer, we estimate that 10 caps will be 10 caps will be sold, which will yield $200,000 on initial sales, and an additional $200,000 from year 1 to year 5, yielding $1.2 million for just one sale. We have tremendous revenue growth. At initial sale of 40 units, we can see $1.6 million, and over a 5-year period, scale to almost $200 million. We are fully reimbursed as a solution. We estimate 10 caps will be sold per customer. We estimate also 40 reports per cap, with a low customer count to revenue. If we were looking at early acquisitions, we could have an early acquisition as early as 2027. If we start moving down the road towards 2029, it would show a much greater return on investment, and so on. So the use of funds with a $1.5 million investment equals $2.5 million in capital. That is, we have matching funds that can be brought toward for anyone who brings us an investment. Thank you very much.
Good one. I'm very bullish on you and your background, Mark. As a CTO, right? Like CEO, it's always challenging for PhDs or academics to run company, in my opinion, right? But I have personal interest in neurotech. My first company was a nootropic, like these guys here. So I've always been fascinated by the brain. So I'm just eager to plug you to investors in neurotech. I personally right now don't have a fund for neurotech. Maybe I will, but I would be more eager to run neurotech companies and have CTO like you assist on the technical side of things. I'd like to see one thing though. Well, first the slides, maybe a bit of modernization, right? Like me and Sunny can help you with that.
Sure.
Is one thing, but then I'd like to see Neuralink in there. Right? Like, why
Absolutely.
is Neuralink not in there? Like, Neuralink seems to be at the forefront, even if the academic circle don't like it that much. Like, they do things very well and how things should be done company-wise. Why aren't they in there? And where is your slide to where that could lead to potential Neuralink?
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Neuralink is, of course.
Any response on that?
Yeah, of course. Neuralink is another value, the competitor. We try to look at the specific solutions through this offering, and that it's not just offering, say, a brain scanning device, but one that fits within a specific area to solve, such as epilepsy or traumatic brain injury or sleep apnea or so on. So we're just not offering a ubiquitous device, but a device that fits within a particular area.
Got it. Scott, any questions or comment?
Yeah, Mark, a couple things. One, ironically enough, I spoke to a neurotech investor today. So if you'd like an introduction to them, I'll be happy to do that. That said, I also own a stake in the DME. So I'd be more curious about how we could put you in contact with them. But my main question is related to your verticals. Are you doing anything in concussion protocol for athletes? Because I'm also a partner in a fund that invests in sports and sports technology. So
yeah, absolutely. We've partnered with all the local colleges, but as well as high schools. We see a tremendous need to have this type of in-field diagnostic capability where an individual will get their bell rung on the field, and therefore we can take them into the classic tent for quick triaging, diagnosing, and of course, a pathway towards care. So not only are we offering this to the military, but we see a tremendous need, much like your defibrillator, that could be offered on the field.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to learn more and follow up here. Thanks.
Shane?
Yeah, Mark, strong work here. I think there's a couple kind of like presentation comments that I think can go a long way here. So, you've got a lot going on in this deck, and I think you answered most of my questions, but it kind of like took a while to get there. And I would really kind of think about having different pitches for different situations. So like this should be your 2-minute pitch where you're kind of coming at me hard with like, this is the product, this is the problem, this is who we're unseating, this is how much the product costs, this is who pays for it. But what I thought was most missing, even in the long presentation, was like, who is the user? How are you going to get to them? And why are they going to buy your product consistently? And I think like that's just a key thing to keep in mind. And it's probably just a delta between like, if you're a doctor and you're working in hospital settings, like, hey, you tell someone to use something and they use it. But, like on the VC side, I want to really kind of know what some of that market pull. But I think the stuff is here. It's about condensing, streamlining, and then packaging the information for your audience.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. So I'm not going to repeat it all. I will tell you that as you were going through your presentation, I had questions, and then every time I had a question, I checked it off. You answered it. So well done on that.
Thank you.
Sunny?
Yeah, great presentation, great work. I've used Muse for meditation. I don't know if you've heard of that one. I've tinkered with
I
that
have,
a lot.
it fits within the same family as trying to do intervention for delirium, trying to do intervention even for depression. Those type of techniques, together with a signal acquisition system, would actually be extremely valuable. So it'd be a wonderful area to get into.
So I guess my deeper question was, you guys, I mean, congratulations on like the grants, the LOIs, the reimbursement costs. Well, what's the single biggest thing standing between you guys and revenue?
Right, it is the 510K approval. We're working very closely with the FDA, and we do estimate, based on our previous conversations, to be anywhere from the end of Q3, start of Q4. We'll have the 510K approval. We'll be able to satisfy our LOIs, and together with our current team, we're already looking at the verticals within, say, hospital networks. And you can imagine that would give it even much larger LOI.
Great. I'd love to follow up. Thank you very much.
Yeah, same here. We are going to go to our next contender, which is Craig. Love what you're building, Craig. Your presentation. Stage is yours, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Charles. And thanks, everybody. My name's Craig, CEO and founder of Sales Nexus. And we're building the future of B2B sales with AI at the core. It's a huge market. It's been around for a long time. We've been around for a long time. We've been in this market for over 20 years, but we've just rebuilt our platform so that we can tap into and gain market share within these 3 different segments: CRM, marketing automation, and AI go-to-market solutions, all of which total up to, over $250 billion in market. The problem that our larger entrenched competitors have is that they've created a sort of walled garden where their tools can do amazing things, and in particular their AI tools, but only if you load all your data into their cloud, right? That's the problem. No business ever will be able to do that without sacrificing functionality in specific areas that they need. So what we've done is built a solution that eliminates that problem. So here's a real world example. I'm the CEO of a commercial real estate firm. I want to see what percent of my leads turned into signed contracts in the last 90 days, right? Well, if I'm using Salesforce for CRM and HubSpot for marketing, and I got DocuSign doing my contracts, and I got a different system for accounting, I can't do that without pulling data from multiple systems and loading it into one of those systems and then asking the AI to do that for me, which is too much of a pain. It's not going to happen, right? So with our solution, every customer tailors our solution to their unique workflows. That's always been one of our greatest strengths. Our customers stay with us 4 times as long as they stay with Salesforce and HubSpot, because they can make it fit the way their salespeople work. Our system allows you to connect to any other data store. It could be your local drives with documents and proposals and things. It could be your accounting system, your ERP, could be other CRMs. We can connect to anything else. And then our AI has visibility into that data where it lives. You don't have to put everything into our walled garden in order for our AI to do its magic. So just another example of this concept. Here's Sales Nexus in the middle with connectivity to your documents and your HR data and your ERP data and other MCP servers and so on. But you don't have to move everything into Sales Nexus to get this functionality. So we believe we're built for the future of B2B selling for all these reasons. Like I mentioned earlier, we're in 3 expanding markets that are all growing by over 25% per year. We've been in the business for 20 years and have maintained that customer lifetime advantage over our competitors throughout that time. And there's still thousands and thousands of businesses that are long-standing businesses that are not using CRM. And we believe that that's a right market for us, because now with the advent of AI, that's going to drag those people into the future in order to compete. We've got a great reputation with our customers. You can see our reviews here. In fact, one of the things I'm most proud of is that not only does the platform get great reviews, but our support and our onboarding services are as well reviewed as the platform itself. And that's how we keep our customers for 5, 6, 10 plus years. We got a great team. Caleb's our COO, used to be a customer leading a company using our platform. Damien's our CTO. He's a seasoned technologist that's at the forefront of AI. So a little bit on just what the platform looks like. AI built into every sales process. It's not a separate chat bot that you go and ask a question. It's part of the process. So when I'm building out my sales opportunity in my org chart, the system is identifying executives that I don't know yet and putting them in my sales opportunity, in my pipeline. The AI generates your dashboards for you. So back to that example earlier, the executive says, I want to see a graph of this, and the AI just builds it, including pulling information from those external data sources.
30 seconds, Craig.
Okay, yep. Let me skip through the slides here. So our target market is B2B sales teams. 5 to 50 salespeople is the sweet spot. Revenue of 5 to 100 million. And we're focusing on manufacturing and distribution, sort of industrial sectors, as well as some financial sectors. Our acquisition strategy is digital marketing, partners, and strategic partnerships. Our mobile experience is our next innovation that's coming soon. And we have a number of product innovations that are on the roadmap, including an AI-driven CMO. Because we can see all of the data about a business, we can recommend marketing solutions for that business. Our current financials, we have about 2,000 users, ARR of 235K, equally that much in setup and consulting revenue. And as I've mentioned a couple times, our customers stay with us much longer, which make them more profitable, far more profitable than are with our competitors. So $12,000 per client LTV, but that's given in history. We believe that our average size of customer is going to go up. So the ARR and the LTV per client is going to go up significantly here in the coming months and next year or so. We're seeking $3 million for 25% equity in the company to go to to continue the platform expansion, but primarily to expand our marketing operations, to expand that digital marketing and our partnership outreach to grow market share. And you can see here, we expect things to scale up quickly and be, within 6 years, 5 to 6 years, repaying investors 10x on their investment. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Yeah, I like the fact that your COO is an ex-customer. Sunny, my co-founder, is an ex-customer of mine as well. That's always a great sign. I'd like to see, though, how you dog food your own platform, right? Like how you've used it yourself to grow sales. I was a bit confused by AI CMO. Shouldn't be like AI CSO, like Chief Sales Officer instead of
Could
CMO.
be both, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that as a clarity thing. I think the challenge in your space is boredom. Like people, every time you mention the word CRM, they have a light headache, right? Like HubSpot, Salesforce, like pretty boring stuff normally. So I think like more action in the slides, in the branding, maybe show numbers and I don't know, a sales agent like doing sales by itself, like a quick demo 5-second GIFs of you seeing the agent being deployed and creating some cells in a recursive way. So would love to see that. And I'd love to see the HubSpot stock declining, right? Like in the slides and why you're building something different. But I think you're the right guy to build this. So good job, generally speaking. We're going to have the Shane on stage. Shane, any thoughts on Craig?
Absolutely. Thanks, Craig. Craig, where do you live? What's your hometown?
Houston.
Houston. When was the last time you drove along the 101 between SFO and San Francisco?
It's been a few years.
Okay.
We see the Monaco billboards, right? Have you seen those?
If you drove up and down that highway, Craig, you're going to see about 6 or 7 competitors. So right now, kind of what I thought, like I'm
which is craziness, is like bubble.
They're pretty good. They're getting verticalized. They're systems of record plus system of action. So kind of my first thing is you're kind of like just comparing this to a stack that includes HubSpot, Salesforce, and DocuSign. I think for a subset of companies in the market today, like that is old news. So I do think you need to kind of come up to speed on some of your competitive positioning.
Sure.
So that's kind of the big note here. But actually, like with respect to your presentation, Greg, like congrats. I think you passed the test better than any founder yet today. This was a tight presentation that was kind of hitting me in the values with the right numbers. So I think you did a good job. I think you do have to just kind of update and understand exactly where this product fits in today's market and not 2019 market.
Scott?
Yeah, I would agree. I've probably seen no less than 24 pitch decks that are trying to do the same thing. But I have some questions along the way. Is this a separate company from what you're currently doing, or are you bolting on this technology to the existing company?
No, it's the same company. We reinvented the tech stack over the last year, and we've relaunched it here just the beginning of this year.
Okay, then based on that question, I'm going to be counterintuitive and say, don't go raise capital from outside investors. If you've got 20 years of clients, get some pre-sales, get them to invest. That's probably going to be your best route, at least at this early stage. Raising capital is a grind. If you've got 20 years of customer success, get them to pony up and get first mover advantage on the platform. That would be my comment there. So.
Mike?
Two things. First of all, well done. And I agree with the comments thus far. I would have a slide that talks about the cost and benefit versus competition, because we all know Salesforce number 1 is a pain, and we all know that Salesforce number 2 is expensive. And I don't have a lot of experience with HubSpot, but the other I do, and so I would really focus on that. And then I would challenge you on $12,000 LTV. That to me just didn't seem, either it's a wrong number. I mean, for a long-term value of a client, not of one individual user, but of a client, to be 12,000, it's got to be higher than that. I mean, I do believe that what you're doing is extremely sticky just by the industry you're in, let alone how you're pulling everything in. Once you're in, takes you a lot to have to go through a transition to another service provider.
Sure.
So is 12,000 right, or was that why is that so low, or am I wrong?
Well, historically, our
wrong.
customers have been much smaller, like 3-4 users or something like that. But now we're moving up into the enterprise with the new platform.
Can you change that metric to just say average life or something? Because 12,000 is might scare people away. I could be wrong, Scott.
Sunny, any questions or comments?
Yeah, I really liked what Scott was saying. Essentially, I think that's a genius idea. You've got these customers, and customers beat investors any day of the week, if you ask me. And so I would go, and then you get that validation, you get the traction. I guess my bigger question though is how much does the AI actually lift a rep's close rate?
That is a good question, and we're still too early to really say that in definitive across all customers kind of way, right? But what we're seeing is it's the way it impacts the close rate or the bottom line is deal leakage, they call it, or deals getting stuck in the pipeline. I'm a sales guy. I got 10 deals, and 2 of them I forget about because they just stop moving, right? The AI will keep them moving.
There you go. Thank you, Craig.
Powerful.
We're going to go to our next contender, Nick. Nick, you have the stage whenever you're ready.
Hi, can everyone hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Nick Bailly, and I'm the CEO of AdGraft Therapeutics, where we're developing a liquid skin graft platform engineered for lasting therapeutic effect. I want to start by telling you about Brady Attar. When Brady's parents first looked down at those big blue eyes, they fell in love immediately, but they knew something was wrong because their boy was in pain. When they looked at his feet, they had no skin. His mother was told that she had about 30 seconds to hold him before he was whisked away to the NICU, and the only explanation that was given was uttered like it was a curse: recessive dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa, along with the advice, don't Google it. Recessive dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa, or RDEB, is a disorder that affects about 3,000 patients in the US. Genetic defects in collagen 7 disrupt the biological Velcro that holds our skin layers together. Without this molecule, any friction at all, from a hug or a handshake or even pulling on a t-shirt, is enough to cause blister wounds all over the body. These become chronic through a cycle of aberrant healing and re-injury, and patient lives are defined by their wound care regimen. While there are 2 FDA therapies that exist for this disease, they're really not enough. One offers just a temporary solution, and the other is only usable on a small subset of wounds. There are no therapies that offer durable repair for every wound a patient experiences, yet. That's where AdGraft comes in. At AdGraft, we're developing autologous engineered skin cell therapies. We take a patient's own cells and reprogram them to express therapeutic proteins. By using a patient's own cells, our therapy is safe and long-lasting, avoiding immune system rejection. Our non-viral cell engineering technology simplifies our manufacturing and dramatically reduces our COGS and enables permanent genomic insertion of large genetic cargoes up to 100 kilobases of DNA. And finally, we mix those engineered cells with a proprietary liquid graft formulation that lets us apply the therapy topically in an outpatient procedure to any wound anywhere on the body. We're excited about this platform because we know it works. In an investigator-initiated proof of concept trial, our engineered cells as a full-thickness skin graft successfully healed 2 wounds on an RDEB patient with no adverse safety signals. We're combining those engineered cells with that proprietary liquid graft formulation based on an FDA-cleared wound sealant hydrogel that's already being used to seal surgeries all around the world. Once healed, our liquid graft is histologically indistinguishable from healthy host skin, allowing us to deliver lasting repair to every wound in a one-time treatment. RDEB is just the beginning. We're excited to move to a basket of other rare diseases and into larger markets like anti-aging aesthetics and wound healing. We're raising a $5 million seed that will carry us to our IND filing. And we have a lean team of scientific experts and advisors to support us along the way. So with your help, we can give Brady the durable therapy solution that he deserves. Thank you very much.
Wow, man, that is wonderful. I love the presentation. I love how succinct it was. As an investor, though, I want to know the details. So, how many folks in the US or in your target market suffer from that skin disease?
There's about 3,000 with recessive dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa, and another 1,500 with a related junctional EB that we could pivot into quite quickly after we get approval in our first indication.
Got it. And what's the cost of your treatment?
Our cost is estimated at less than $50,000, which is multiple orders of magnitude lower than any other cell
per
therapy.
year, right? $50K per year?
$50,000 per dose. So
Per dose,
a
okay.
durable healing at a single site. This is not
Okay.
something that's going to cure the patient all over their body with one dose, but it will permanently repair the site of application.
Got it. And how many treatments per year?
We're estimating that a given patient will have as many as 10 doses total, but it depends from patient to patient on where their most high impact wounds are. At minimum, patients will have 4 to 6, according to estimates from dermatologists, but it will depend patient to patient.
So about 100K per patient per year, right?
Yes, that's a reasonable estimate. That's in cost. That's not in what we're going to be charging for this.
Okay, in cost, right? And you're gonna probably charge double of that. Is that?
If we charge less than the 2 approved therapies, we'll be making 90% margins on our therapy.
Okay, and the approved therapies, it's 50K per treatment. Is that?
The approved therapies cost $500,000 per year or $3
Okay.
million per an application. We are a direct competitor to the $3 million one with COGS that are multiple orders of magnitude lower.
Okay, and so how long will it take to get FDA approved and cleared? 5-10 years?
If I was handed money tomorrow, we would have approval in 4 years.
Okay, and
Part of
as
this
a
is because as a rare disease, our phase 1 and phase 3 trials only need to be 10 to 12 patients because you can treat multiple wounds at a time to increase the N of your trial and get to statistical significance sooner.
okay, and on year 1, how much would we make? Couple millions?
Because this is a rare disease, there are established patient advocacy groups that would bring in those patients before even approval has gone through, so we can hit the ground running with that. We're estimating peak sales at around $500 million.
And is that your first venture, Nick? Like, why? I know that you're the right guy to build this. What's your business experience?
So I got my PhD from University of Chicago in biophysical sciences, and along the way have spent 3 years in venture capital on the other side of the slide deck.
No.
But I knew that this was something that I wanted to do myself, and that I could bring this therapy to the patients in a way that that a lot of the technical founders that I see, I think, are missing the boat.
I'm bullish on this. I love it. Probably my favorite today. Scott, what do you think? You're muted again, Scott.
Couple questions. In terms of go-to-market, is your strategy to get it to a certain point and license the technology to somebody else, or are you going to go out there and try to sell this product yourself? That's my first question. I have a follow-up.
Most biotechs are built to be acquired, and I think someone like a BioMarin that's already in the rare disease space would see the value of both our first asset and the potential to expand into other rare diseases. But rare disease, the margins on it make it possible to proceed as your own company. So I'm open to both avenues. I think
obviously getting it approved is the long haul, but in some cases that's the easy part. Getting it out there could be more difficult.
And by acquisition by a larger entity would give us access to the commercial teams to really accelerate that.
I didn't get a chance to. Have you pursued any NIH funding or any non-dilutive capital at this point?
The initial research was supported at University of Chicago through NIH funding. We have multiple applications out for non-dilutive capital grants. Those were delayed, obviously, this year. So we have been pursuing primarily venture funding to try to fill that gap, but we have additional applications going out today, or going out currently.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Sunny, any thoughts on what Nick is building?
Yeah, what's the kind of the single biggest scientific risk left, between your proof of concept and kind of like an approved therapy?
So I showed you that we have data where the engineered cells have already successfully cured a wound. What we're really layering in is this liquid graft formulation, which we've validated in animal models, but we have not yet translated to humans. This is really critical because it's going to give us the ability to treat every wound on a patient's body rather than that 15% subset. But this is still at the animal trial level. So our first activity once we raise funds will be to optimize this formulation and then bring it to a translational trial in humans.
And then one last one, Charles. So I think that's quite clever, right? Using the patient's own cells, quite elegant. But what makes that hard to manufacture at scale?
The process is the product. That's what we say in cell therapy. This is going to be a situation where you are taking a biopsy from the patient, pulling it into a centralized manufacturing facility, and growing up to 10 or 20 doses for that given patient, which you can then freeze down as a therapeutic library for additional wounds that develop. But that's not something that I can do once for me and then use those doses on you. We have had extensive discussions about translating this to an allogenic sort of one donor system, but there are complexities about that that leave it to be definitely a to-do item in the future that would come as sort of a next generation product.
Got it. Thanks.
Mike, any questions, comments for Nick?
Are there two questions? Are there any other indications? And then second, do you see, you just walked us through the process. Do you think that's the only approach that might be able to get this more, have a bigger ability for scale?
So I think that the best path to scale is really embedded in your first question of going to those other markets. The beauty of gene therapy is the biophysics of the therapy itself don't change when you swap the DNA. So being able to swap the gene from what's needed for RDEB to what's needed for junctional, that immediately gives us another 50% as many customers. But then expanding to phenylketonuria, where we already have animal data validation, that's another $2 billion market that we would be offering a permanent one-time therapy to disrupt the enzyme replacement therapies that are already there. These are very fast follow opportunities for this platform. Then all of that lays the groundwork for expanding into something like anti-aging aesthetics, where instead of getting Botox every 6 months, we're able to restore your ability to express elastin and collagen so that you no longer have those wrinkles and are restoring a youthful phenotype. So there's a lot of potential here based on those indication expansions.
I would, all I'd say is add a slide on that, because then the question about 3,000 and 1,500 won't matter as much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Nick, great presentation. Thank you. Let's go to your next contender. We have Khalid. I thought I'd bring Khalid on stage sooner than later. It's a bit late in Jordan time. So we have 3 minutes on the clock, Khalid, for your presentation.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for getting me here. Today, we're going to talk about ArcMate. ArcMate is your cloud AI-powered architecture mate. It can check your infrastructure if it's following the best practices or no. ArcMate is a product from CloudVest. CloudVest, from the origin, it's an AWS advanced partner. We already have on board multiple clients like AUB, the American University of Beirut, the banks in Jordan, and Omani Oil Gas, and much more. However, we found a problem into the infrastructure that there is no source of truth into it, and you need to check if you are following the best practices from different perspectives, from security, from cost optimization, performance efficiency, reliability, or even operation excellence and sustainability, which is the 6 pillars of AWS. That's why we created ArcMate from your architecture mate, which is a source of truth. Mainly the problem is your infrastructure is a black box. You don't know exactly where you are paying, if there is an extra cost you are paying, if you are using the right sizing or not, even though you are using the right services or not. So mainly it's a black box. Wasted cloud spent into the resources that have a low utilization or over provisioned utilization, security misconfiguration. If you are want to follow some regulation like a GDPR, like a SOC 2, you don't really know, or you have a source of truth rather than using a third party. Regulation and compliances, all of that, these problems and initial problems into the infrastructure. What we are doing as a solution, it's a FinOps solution. First of all, you can check your costs where you are paying and how to cost optimize your account. your infrastructure is following the best practices, and more than that, an agentic AI which can in one click just fix the resources and let it follow the best practice with the least privilege. However, the market size as a sum is 180 billion. We are talking about the MENA region, KSA, UAE, Jordan, and Egypt. As a sum is 3.2 billion. Let's introduce Europe into the equation with more vendors. We are talking about GCP, Azure, and 22 billion as a total addressable market. As a business model, it's easy. It's just pay as you grow. It's free till you get the $3,000 MRI per month. We start taking 3% from the billing account. We have also here the partnership and the reseller as a white labeling. We also have the traction. We already onboarded around 50 plus. Now we are bootstrapping. Now we are into the phase to accelerate it, since now we validate the whole thing, we adopt the whole thing, we are ready for the market. 17 plus compliance framework, from them the GDPR, the HIPAA, the ISO 20001, FedRAMP, NIST, PCI DSS, and much more. We already an AWS advanced partner. We already a well-architected partner with AWS, and already our solution has been listed into the AWS marketplace. And our active pipeline is building more and more as an agentic. As a go-to-market strategy, since an AWS advanced partner, we already have a partner network with AWS in Europe. We already started the niche. The direct sale, we're going to use it, of course, and the partner ecosystem that we are doing through AWS and the other vendors. However, we already registered partner in the hyperscale in Azure, in GCP, and Alibaba, and Huawei. However, as a financial projection, in year one, we are estimating 2 million as an ARR through 500 paying customer. In year two, we are going into the 5 million through 2,000 customer, and year three, 12 million through 500 customer. What we are asking for 5 million for 25% equity, and this is a seed round. The team, Mu'tasim, he's the solution principal architect. Rami is the director of business development, and me, I'm a software development manager. All of us have more than 15 years of experience within X and Amazon, X MBCs. All of us came from different backgrounds. Thank you.
Good one, Kalen. Question for you. Do you have like a GTM moat in the Middle East? Like, I would have loved to see that in the slides.
As a GTM?
Yes.
Yes.
You're in Jordan. Middle East is hot in good and less good ways, right? But Saudi Arabia is definitely like on the scene. UAE as well. I would have loved seeing like a GTM moat in that area of the world, because for me, at least as Westerner, it's always hard to sell in the Middle East for some reasons, right? So I can see an advantage of you in that region of the world.
Yeah, of course, this is our SOM. Exactly, the SOM. It's the SMBs and corporate into KSA, UAE, Jordan, and Egypt. The thing is, Charles, AWS doesn't have a region into KSA, but guess what? It's opening in the last quarter this year in KSA. So we'll be from the top into KSA. Already exist in the UAE. We have a region UAE, and we have a region into Bahrain.
Got it. Sunny, any questions for Khaled?
I don't know. I thought the presentation was good. A little bit outside of my maybe wheelhouse, but interesting nonetheless. I guess one thing that was kind of top of mind is you're like agentic and like one-click fixes. What stops like a wrong auto fix from breaking production?
Yeah, this is why still we didn't launch the agentic, since it can be applied for all the resources in the infrastructure. You need to know exactly where to apply it with the least privilege, because we also are talking about the security. So we need to make sure that we have the least privilege whenever we change, and we have a rollback plan for the customer. And that all of that will be through CloudFormation template. It can be rolled back and everything going as it needed.
Got it.
Thanks. Mike, any questions for Khaled?
Really, no, I thought you did a good job. It's really just a teeny bit of feedback. I would slow down a little bit.
I'm talking.
Um,
Yeah,
I-
I have the
yeah,
problem. Yeah.
yeah. So just take some. Make sure you breathe. I mean, the most important thing that'll help you slow down is by breathing. I would maybe streamline the slides a little bit, and as you're going through it, because I mean, you're excited and you should be. You've got something that's really big, and it's a big market that needs it. But and I think your price point's right. I think it's fair. But as you go through each slide, make sure that your headline on each slide, that you call that out, so that way you ground everybody in what you're talking about, and it'll help also that way help you slow down.
Oh yeah.
So that's the only thing I would work on. But I think you hit you kind of checked off all the marks. Well done.
Thank you.
Khaled, thank you for making it that late into the night. So. We have Thomas on stage here. Thomas, the stage is yours, my friend. Just unmute yourself before you start presenting.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That makes sense. Thank you. Thomas Becker. I'm CEO of Pulsar Industries. We're based here in the north of Austin. So, Michael, you definitely remember our nice winter storm Uri that we have 3 years ago. And at that point, I was already working in a battery company, but I said we still need to do more as there was not enough backup power, and all the damages that are listed here were not actually from the storm, but just because the power went out. So providing backup power is what Pulsar does. And for that, we've created 3 product lines that we do in the north of Austin in Liberty Hill, where we are launching our first off-grid inverter. It's a 12 kilowatt, and it's first of its kind because it does not utilize any Chinese components at this point, which means it is FEOC compliant, and we will obtain 45x manufacturing credits from the government. The second product that we do is LFP battery packs that we're assembling, standard rack-mounted 5.12 LFP packs with a 0.5C discharge rate, which means they discharge over 2 hours. Then our flagship product, and that's what this is all about, is our PulseTrack 50. That's the system where we combine both products, the inverter and the battery packs, and we engineer them to make them last on the road, which is then a platform for a myriad of applications, being it in the emergency response area, being it on construction sites, for events, for simple backup power for homes, but for the military. So the use cases are as wide and as creative as everybody can think of. So if you picture something, we can probably power this for a day or longer. So our tailwinds that support us is our moat in the US manufacturing. We have a local location where we assemble those units ourselves after our own design. Right now, the residential solar from where these components come from are 99% white labeled, and we are actually assembling this stateside, which is for our PulseTrack, which means for our PulseTrack is that we have the vertical integration of the most critical components. Our team, we have automotive and mass manufacturing experience, so we have that scalability to get to volume where everything becomes interesting. And as mentioned, we have the first FEOC compliant inverter stateside. The system side, I think we can all agree, our grid is outdated and the infrastructure definitely needs revamp. In the meantime, we can do a lot of the brownouts, so we can support that with our mobile battery system. That the US has a steadily growing power demand is unrivaled with all the AI data center going online. We are very good at plugging in things, but our power generation is lagging behind that. So for us, that means that our PulseTrack as well can work with all the existing generators in that size and make them hybrid, which leads to 50% fuel consumptions. And we are working right now with a partner in California to be part of the core voucher support that actually provides a voucher for up to 50% of the system costs. Right now, we are in the MESS market, which is the mobile energy storage system market. We look at a total of $12 billion. The addressable market is around $2 billion, and we think that within the next 2 or 3 years, we can be up to $50 million in that segment. We have a steady growth rate. Plus, there are some regulations that will help the rental, our entry into the rental fleet, which is the EPA Phase 3 and the COP Tier 4 gensets that will be not allowed to work in the cities. So for all the additional drive that comes from silent and emission-free alternative, we are really all the way into the mega trends of the decentralization of electricity, as we can use the Pulse-Track as a central power hub, and from there power different other utilities like your fridge, your TV, or any other equipment within the load specifications of our unit. The electrification of everything, moving from the generator over to the electric side, and meaning that all of our products are part of distributed energy resources, which provide additional grid resilience.
30 seconds, Tom.
Okay, all right. We got 250 units in the pipeline out of the generator OEM white label, the core voucher, and direct placement in rental fleets. Team, we've done this before. We can do it again. The battery experience, automotive, and the corporate structure will provide the structure for the growth. We're asking for $3.5 million to create a scalable equipment business, $500 in SAFE, and then $3 million in product financing to enter rental fleets across the United States. With that, we'll be delivering by end of year roughly $5 million in revenue and 150 units delivered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. I think it was a great presentation, maybe a bit on the slides level, like a bit more dynamic. And I'd love to see a flywheel there, right? Because there's a lot of companies doing something similar, and there another slide that I would love to see over the flywheel is like the AI energy bottleneck right now. Maybe just like a quick graph showing that energy is actually a huge bottleneck for data centers and a bunch of things related to AI, right? So I would love to see that.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Charles.
Sunny?
Yeah, the white labeling for like a generator OEM is super smart distribution, but doesn't it kind of like bury your brand and kind of like your FEOC moat under theirs?
Not necessarily. And on the brand side, we love our brand. I like more to get product out in the market than my brand. So we're very open to discuss there. The FEOC is basically all geared around the inverter at this point. As for the batteries, there are very, very few sources that are FEOC compliant. Basically, companies that produce cells outside of China are LG, Panasonic, and some Tesla, and that's for the most part. So the unit itself will not be FEOC compliant, just that inverter, which has a different or additional sales avenue in the residential solar market, where we have an exclusive contract already with a established brand.
Interesting. And then Charles, can I get one more in?
Yes.
Yeah, real quick. So I guess you said 8 million revenue, right? On something like 1.8 million. That's about like 22% margin. How does that improve as you scale manufacturing?
Very quickly. The biggest cost items right now is the trailer base and the enclosure, capturing roughly 30% of the cost. With additional contract and scale in that can be halved easily. The same goes for the battery side. There's a 25% cost reduction in with additional scale. So that margin very quickly grows to 35%.
Nice.
Mike?
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add. I think, one thing I would do is have a slide about the ice storm that we all lived through and bring it a little bit down to earth as to what, kind of what this does and the advantages. And maybe a little bit more information on, from a competition standpoint, what are the threats that could slow you down some. My other question was on margin, but Sunny got that one, so I think we're good. Well done.
Thank you, Michael. It's great to come visit.
There you go. almost last contender, we have Sebastian. Sorry to have brought you on stage so late. I know it's late Germany time, but yeah, stage is yours, man.
Thank you very much. So it's middle in the night in Germany, but I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to present One Banking and also One Bot. We created the last 2.5 years an AI native banking system and built it complete out of our own, with also a crypto exchange integrated and with a real fiat IBAN account inside. The problem in the most apps is that you have around 4, 5, 6 different apps for crypto, for banking, for maybe also the accounting, and also for many different things. And there's no comprehension in this place. And this is what One Banking is bringing with us, because we have the AI finance coach within, and there we are not sitting like banks on the customer data and doing probably nothing much with it. But we have an AI-driven coach in this place, and this is automatically giving our customers the opportunities to save their money. I will show and explain. So we are in the European Union. There we have the license for 26 countries, but on the other side, we have also a partner which is licensing us in all around the world. So then it's also possible for us to reach many bigger market like end of the year, but especially in Europe, we have like quite 100 billion of a market. So that's quite huge. So what is our product like? We have a complete system in our banking and digital asset market, and we have the financial AI coach and a complete infrastructure for our customers with an own token in the system. And I can show you real quick a video how it is to buy crypto, because our prototype is live now, or beta app is live since 1 week, and we are really proud of this. So if you want to to buy Bitcoin, it's a swipe system. You can just drag and drop the Bitcoin, go on buy, just type in like 1,000. If you want to buy for 1,000, you put on the next slide, one slide, and you have the cryptocurrency in your bank account. And this is how easy it is to buy, sell, hold crypto and do anything with it what you want. And the best part is you have a full service IBAN account in this point, with a full app integration like modern banking systems, with also multi-banking, so you can connect your other banking accounts to get full transparency, and multi-currencies. We have over 80 different fiat currencies, which is combined in one app with a top-level client support integrated. On the crypto part, we have all blockchains and all coins, and this for 0.1% fees. So in the highest possible monthly package, we have 0.1% fees, and this is really great because especially in Europe with the MiCA license, there are no real competitors in this market who has the gap between fiat and also crypto with this low amount of fees. This is because we have a really huge partnership in the background, and it's totally safe. So everybody can do it, and not just the crypto native guys. And what is really working the best for our clients is the AI. The AI is completely built by ourselves, and it's doing analysis for the customers, and also doing the subscription rates, insurances, phone, gas rates, and everything, so that you have a clean and perfect setup and that you save money. So every time a customer from our side is saving money, we are earning money for the rates, and where we are based in a partnership. And the AI can also assist you or assist our customers by doing this. So the AI is not just seeing the past, it can also see the future. It will see maybe on the business clients, hey, your CRM model is going up in the next 3 days, and there is like a 20% discount in it. And the AI will reach out to the provider, put the 20% discount in, and so the people automatically save money. And on the other side, it can also help about spending money. We have a complete investing platforms for shares, for saving plans, or for a partner marketplace. And this is really huge in this place where we license from our own compliance a lot of partners. We have already 200 different partners in this placement done, so that a lot of people can choose from investments or from products in our marketplace. Our business model is also really strong because we get not just the commissions like other people or other businesses do. We have the AI and the revenue in this stream, and this is really going huge in comprehension to the low subscription or fees, and also the ads and marketing systems. So we can get a lot of money, more than other clients or other competitors in this market. We have a strong marketing and sales strategy, especially also from our partners. There are a lot of partners in the crypto market where we can connect their coins, connect their tokens in our banking app, and definitely use their clients and their customers for our model. And this is the first AI-driven banking app with a fully crypto native integration with a finance code. We have one token in the background. We already reached about 2 million investments out of the one token. So we are built it completely from scratch. And all the possibilities of debit cards, credit cards, and tokenized assets inside. We started in 2024. We have a team of 22 people now, and we managed to go live with our one bot, so with the AI for 3 months now. And the banking app is going live in 3 weeks. So we are complete in our launch focus. Marketing agency is going huge. We reached over 70,000 people in the last weeks. And in the next places, we are going also the listing of the one token. 27, we are doing the investments, products, stocks, gold, ETFs. And further on, we also want to do our own banking license in this place. Our team is a 6-person in the founder board. So Wilfried Streiner, a really good friend of me, he founded it with me together in 2024. I bring David and Niklas, Ivan and Marco in. So I'm in the business development perspective for the team and for everything. And Wilfried is focused on the product, mainly himself. We have surely a lot of possibilities with our system, but a lot of funding is also needed for sales, for marketing, for operating, and surely also for the development and also the partners we are doing together. So now, since 2.5 years, it's the first time for our side to also get investors in for equity, and we are searching for $4 million for 14%. And I'm glad to maybe have some people here who are really focused on an AI-driven banking system, and glad to present in front of you. Thank you.
I love this. With what bank partner did you go for? Because it's a neobank, right? So it's like they are the actual backend and license, and you're front end. Is that how it works?
Sorry, I didn't get the first part of the question. I have
usually neobanks, you partner with one big bank. I don't know what might that be in Europe. Deutsche Bank. So who did you choose as a partner, and why?
So we have a partnering with ConnectPay. ConnectPay is EMI out of Lithuania, and they are a really good working company. We are working with them together, but on the other side, we have 2 other EMIs in the background, which we can also use about. And they are really focused on driven on crypto and can do everything in this place. But the licenses of the Bank of Lithuania we got by ourselves, and also the passport and the license from the other 26 countries, we also got about one banking ourselves.
And you mentioned the revenue. What are the main costs? Is it on the license side or mostly on the customer acquisition side?
So on one side, the license side, but that's not the usual part. So we developed a lot in the last 2 years with a company called S-Pro in Switzerland. They are doing a great job. They have over 350 employees. and we have a team about 22 people. But on the other side, yeah, we have like 13 partners in different section, like BitGo in USA, or also like Connect Pay. We have also partnerships with bigger bank and systems that we can also access to the whole market in the whole world.
And what are people, last question, what are people using on the crypto side of things? If they want to buy Bitcoin in Germany, what app are they going to use right now?
So they can use right now a crypto exchange, but the problem is at the moment, if you have your banking system in the European Union, but the crypto exchange may be out of it, it's always a big trouble. And so all people in the European Union are searching for a product at the moment. We already have a crypto community in our background with 10,000 people. And this is also why we built it One Banking, because these 10,000 people told us since 2016, we need a solution like you. And so we built it by ourselves.
I love this one. I'm in on that one. Sunny, any thoughts on your side?
Yeah, I mean, Sebastian, we've spoken a few times in the past. I started one of the world's first crypto exchanges. Big fan of what you're doing. Love how you're bringing it all together. So is OneBot a feature or like a second product fighting for focus?
So at the first, it was a feature. We trained it, we programmed it, and now it's a second product because we saw we can't use it in the training without our banking system. And the banking, we have to wait until the license is done. And so we started to build it, and now we did an own product out of it. And also, the OneBot has a really high potential also to become a unicorn, because there's a complete mission control inside for small and medium enterprise businesses, where you can have a complete checkup about your finances, about everything in your business, what is going on. So especially on this side, we're doing a complete done-for-you solution. We have a great marketing and sales team. They are working separately, not now for One Banking, so also for the OneBot. But when we are live, we are integrating the fully functional AI system from OneBot in our One Banking system.
Hey, Charles, one more. I got a couple actually. Why do people leave Revolut for you?
So on the one side, for the fees. So everybody who is searching for a crypto exchange or for a smart solution and is doing 1 or 2 times the high fees and the back rates and whatever, then they won't do it again. And then if you want to use an exchange on the other side, and then is a Revolut not so easy to use. This is one part, and the other part is the AI. So nobody has an AI at the moment driven system, and this is what we bring out the first time. And if they can do a complete free account in our site, and the AI goes over their existing banking models and sees, hey, I can save you $500. That's something who's everybody in the whole world is searching something like this.
Cool.
Don't you feel the AI part is a bit scary for normal consumer type of people? It's like, I don't want you to have access to my data or do anything with it.
Yes. So on the one side, we have our data system in the European Union. We have created in Malta. And this is something which is giving also the clients a really big trust about us, because we are doing it in the European Union and it's really strict about this. And that's the one part. And the other part, maybe it's also good for us that a lot of people don't like to share their details with AI, because that's for us a really big point, that not just Revolut or other big banks are just saying, hey, I'm doing the same, because they might lose some of their audience. And we definitely just look for this audience. And this audience is growing more and more, especially also in the younger generations.
Mike, muted. There you go, Mike.
Okay, much better, much better. Sorry. And I'm getting a little bit of echo, so I apologize for that. But well done, and especially with the difficulty factor of being so late in the evening for you. Really, 2 things. One is OneBot ever wrong? And if OneBot steers people in the wrong investment or the wrong timing, and then the second question is around from a competitor standpoint, I mean, with your arrangements and your relationships that you have now, it's really speed to market, right? Because it's hard for someone to get all that together and to be able to do that and then compete with you that quickly. I know there's some others that are out there, but those, my questions really revolve around those two things. Thoughts?
Yes. So the first point is sure the OneBot. We have a complete system integrated that we are on our own side from the compliance really strict, which partners are really integrated in this system. So there we can give the opportunity for our people to have the strongest partner who are regulated from our side and also from the compliance from our side. And there is a lot of possibilities, but on the other side, there's always the disclaimer that everybody needs to check it themselves. The OneBot is not doing anything without them, so they have always to do like a face or also the thumb check if they want to write an email to their provider or whatever. So the AI can do it, but always it's your side to give exit or give the plan out.
Good.
And on the other side, yes, the speed is something we really gathered in the last time. We already have a marketing agency with a high six-figure budget out, and there we are spending a lot of the whole market. So we have around 300 to 600 KOLs and YouTubers which are going out in a weekly base about one banking now in the next 3 months. So this is where we are gathering our speed. And on the other side, other competitors have to do the complete regulation side. It took us around 2 or 3 months to do the regulation in the crypto part and 2.5 years to do the regulation in the banking market. So this is really huge, especially in the European Union and also with the partnerships in the other markets.
Thank you for the great pitch, Seb. So we're going to go to our last contender. We have Sutan and Nikki's for round 2. So
Thanks, Charles. So my name is Sudan. I'm the founder of Nikki's Active. I'm also the founder of Nikki's Natural. Nikki's Natural is a baby wipes company, but from that, this offshoot happened. So Nikki's Active is an operating system, AI-powered SaaS platform to help parents and service providers to book school and holiday activities in the market. Right. At the moment, every provider is done on Facebook or a old website which is built on Wix or Shopify, and they have different apps to come into it to build it out. So the booking process is so staggered. Sometimes your bank transfer, you then communicating WhatsApp or a manual process. So from a service provider point of view, it's disjointed. That's not a customized solution specifically for their service needs. There's 2 structural shifts. So how we're building is we get AI source to grab all the individual service providers into our platform. We verify with child safety check and those insurance requirements. We do online check, and then we validate it, and we work with the service providers to make sure the information is right. And then the parents can book instantly. We have government vouchers and set up within Australia that they can automatically integrate that for the booking as well. So they allocate the child's name, the tax file number, the Medicaid card, and that validates the government vouchers, and then they can get the discount off in booking. We currently already have 6,000 parents pre-registered, 1,000 parents actively using it in New South Wales as a search tool. We've got 3 approach. We've got large language model built up in there. We also got it built up in a app and the web-based. And the best thing about it is that no one's actually looked at this. This market's been around for so long, and no one's actually done anything. It's always been a static approach, and there's always been a manual approach. This is the system itself. So you can search on the web base, search for your product itself and everything else, and then you book it, confirmation booking, and then you get the confirmation of each individual booking you've got, and then you can allocate your child's allergies or anything else that automatically puts into the booking itself. So what normally would happen is you book an activity, you notify the child's requirements, allergies, or the medical report that you need to put in for specific needs. And each time you book an activities, you have to keep on repeating the same process. We centralize that for parents, so all the information is in one place. You book an activity, and that all feeds into that service provider itself. So you don't have to multiply keep on doing that. And it's updated every 3 to 6 months, depending on your child's medical requirements. Right. We currently have about 500 service providers already on the platform. We did a MVP in Easter holidays. We launched it just as a search tool. We had 500 service providers come on, 6,000 parents pre-registered. Right. We were able to do this because the parent company, Nikki's Natural, we have over 10,000 customers in Australia, and we fed that to our customer base, and that's how we got a great uplift. And the idea behind this is that as we start launching it out, we'll be using our existing customer base to drive that, because we've got a 65% customer retention rate with Nikki's Natural Wipes. The market is humongous because it's not just one component, right? So the US is $1.5 trillion because it's not just one school booking activities. It's also education. It's also holiday booking. It's also a basketball camp, individual coaching. So it's consolidated into one market. So it's a huge market that we can tap, which hasn't been done before, right? And the key thing for us is that the way we're building it, we're structuring it, we're launching it, pre-launching it within Australia, in New South Wales, be very targeted, very specific, and then doing a national rollout and then a global rollout. How financially it's going to work. So we've got 4 streams of sort of revenue that we're looking at. We're looking at transaction revenue, subscription revenue, and advertising revenue. And later on, business expansion revenue. So your basketball camp, doing in Chatswood or Texas, and then we noticed in our search that a different part of the area needs another camp. We can reach out to those individual service providers and say, we can now, the demand is there, we can help you set up a facility there and then bring you the customers along, so we can provide services for that and charge for that as well. The competition. So like I said, what makes us different is that we are AI driven. So all the service providers are cataloged and brought in, certified, verified onto our platform before we reach out to them. All our competition at the moment is manually done to verify and distribute. These are some of the competitors out there. And the team is myself, Alex, and Sue. Sue has years of experience in software as a service as an operations manager from a structures point of view. Alex has built multiple applications, chemistry warehouse, online trading platform. So we've got plenty of technology. My background is IT and software. I used to work for IBM and SAP. So we've got a great management and experience. What we're doing, we're looking to raise $1 million AUD at a 6 million post-money valuation, 20% conversion, and a 1.5 uplift on equity. Majority of the money is going to be used on development and then marketing and then the phase rollout. We don't plan to do another raise for another 18, 24 months. We believe that 1 million is more than sufficient for us to survive for the 24 months. For the worst case scenarios, but we believe we'd be generating revenue in November, December this year. And so at the moment, there is no AI-powered booking platform. The best way to compare us is probably like Airbnb, Airtaskers, right? So we're building a platform for parents, and the advantage of this, parents will always sacrifice their own happiness and their own financial needs to make sure the kids get everything. Right, so in the recession times, everything else, right? Parents are still going to go and book activities for the kids, and this market is growing because parents want their kids doing more stuff and not being in front of the TV. That's it.
Thanks for the pitch. What's the go-to-market strategy going to be like?
So initially, we're going to roll out into 2 suburbs in New South Wales, targeting the service providers and parents. So we're working with a number of different schools, Knox Grammar, which has over 6,000 students, Sydney Grammar, which has over 3,000 students. We're going to be starting Barker College. So we're going to go into schools and target those parents specifically, bringing them on board so we can handle the workload and make sure the system is running effectively and efficiently before we do a national rollout.
And what platform are you going to use to target these parents? Like physically, you said?
Yeah, no. So all these parents have, the school has their own individual platform. So Knox has their own school platform that goes to the parent. So we're working with Knox at the moment, and we have that platform integrated into our platform. Then we can target it from our platform to them, say centralize it. Because what happens is, for example, one parent will go to Knox, one parent will go to Sydney Grammar. They are two separate kids using two separate systems. So we can use their systems to bring into it, and then we target it that way to come on to centralize all your kids' activities onto the one platform.
Why not just Facebook and Insta ads?
We will do that later on because we want to control the number of parents and service providers initially to test the platform, because we don't want to get it wrong, because we're using AI content and certification because it's child safety issue. We don't want to do a national rollout and go on Facebook and have a Trojan come in. So we want to know who we're targeting and get all those aspects right first before we do full Facebook and Instagram and everything else.
Got it. It's not my field of investment or interest, but like I said, I would probably be a user if you deploy ever in other countries than Australia. Mike, any questions or comments?
Yeah, it seems so. Really good job, and it seems like there's a lot of sales to get schools enrolled, and then ultimately through that process, you're going to get everybody else to start using the system. Is that correct?
No, we don't enroll the schools. We enroll the application. So we use the AI agents to go in. Those applications are open to external parents, right? So it's the WhatsApp groups essentially, right? What they use. So as soon as we get into one parent, they just invite us into those groups, which they've done, and we got access to all their groups. So it's not like a controlled platform the school has, because school has their own internal infrastructure and services and platform and software, but they use an outside WhatsApp and aggregator for parents to log in and work out student days, sporting activities, and things like that.
So that's where the calories are going to be burned from a sales standpoint to get in those groups. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. As soon as we get into those groups, we'll automatically feed into the school, right? And the school will then adapt us anyway, because we've already got it. Because they, at the moment, they don't have funding for parents' applications, right? So they use third-party add-ons and free add-ons to kind of work. Like sign up is for free, right? But they got plenty of ads.
Sunny, any questions?
How big is that work? How big is that work? How big is that work to get volume?
Not that hard, because as soon as we get into the group, we can push notification into all those groups within our AI agent itself, right? Because it's not a security controlled environment, because it's a WhatsApp group and a simple basic app.
No, but I mean, getting into all the groups, it's one thing to get into one group and infiltrating that one group, but how do you get to all the groups? I was unclear as to how you're going to do that.
Oh, it's basically just work on one by one, right? So if you go to Knox, right? So that Knox school itself, as soon as we get into the one year group, we get the second year group, third year group. So it goes by year groups itself. So we got into the head of the year group for that group, that communication, WhatsApp, and then automatically filters down to every other parent in that group. Then we go to year three, do the same, and that filters down. The same thing. I'm not quite sure how US works, so we haven't touched the US or any other market yet. We want to get it right here first, get it accurately, and then build up, because I don't want to overstretch myself and overspread and get it right. Because the children's involved, we want to make sure we get this right.
Tech is hard. It's hard to get in a lot of these groups. I'd like to see a bit more scalability on the GTM side of things. Sunny, any questions or comments for us?
Two again. So 1.5 trillion is a massive number, obviously top down. What's the slice that you guys can realistically own?
Realistically, we're starting with the school holiday activity, which is about a $600 million market initially.
Got it. And then last one. Yeah, go ahead.
So the 1.5 it covers every kids camps and everything else. What we're targeting specifically is purely holiday activities, which is a $600 million market.
And so then if this compounds, like you say, what's the number that proves it to, let's say, a Series A investor?
At the current numbers that we're looking at, we'd be looking with the compounded just in Australia taking on, we're looking probably around, we'll be doing about 5 to 6 million in the next 2 years. So we're looking at a $30 to $40 million raise.
Got it.
Cool. Valuation, sorry, not raise. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's bring the show to an end. Thanks for everyone that is still with us today amongst the founders. Me, I think, my favorite today was, I would go with like Sebastian first, the neobank, and Nick second, and then Mark, to biotech business, very technical, and I love these. Sunny, who are your favorites today?
I mean, Sebastian for sure, because I obviously have a bent towards crypto, but I also really like Jay. I really like what he's doing, and I think there's a lot of potential there.
Okay, Mike, who is your favorite?
Yeah, I thought it was a strong group. I mean, I really did. I mean, there was aspects of everybody, and I'm not trying to be the please like me guy, but the reality is I thought everybody really did well, and I think that everybody has big opportunities. So I'm not going to single anybody out, and I don't want to not single anybody out. I think you all did great, and I wish everybody the very best of luck.
Yeah, thanks to all. Thanks all founders for showing up.